With all-out war underway, the last troop type we have yet to cover has been bowmen. A more unique troop type with no direct synergy, and one of the more battle strategy-changing troop conversions we have. Whether we're looking to improve our lineup's performance or maximize our damage, knowing at least our troops' available synergy and commanders to boost our line's damage will improve our experience, so why don't we get straight into it? As mentioned before, bowmen are a bit more unique when compared to all the other troops, and we will start by explaining their troop conversion, which will increase their attacking range by 300%. But it will reduce their movement speed by 30%, reduce their damage by 25%, and increase their damage taken by 50%, and prevent them from recovering any rage for commander skills. Here we are showing the range difference between pure and eagle-eyed bowmen. It's hard to talk about bowmen and a synergy for them when their troop conversion prevents them from recovering rage. So as for this video, we will focus on their pure form and battle capabilities, making a separate video where we will talk about commanders which work well for bowmen armies in our dedicated support class video. But moving back, one key thing we may have noticed is this does not block commander passive effects, only the active skills, which means commanders like Sinara will still block enemy damage and Jamie can still trigger his critical attacks as shown here. This is very important to consider if we're going to choose standard bowmen to keep active skills, or if we have many premium options available and trading off having no active skills and massive stat drawbacks, but keep passive abilities, and gain a massive attack range increase. Going through commanders for pure bowmen, if we're trying to make synergy for our army, Leela will be a great option just for her passive, allowing your other commanders a 35% chance to launch their active again. Though she will not provide any stats and her skill is buffing cavalry troops, using her in the last commander slot is best. Dani will also fit into these lines, dealing massive area of attack damage up to 5 enemies within range. Sinel can be used to buff Dani for bowmen, making this similar to what some top cavalry lineups, though the issue is we cannot benefit from her stats or her passive as it will boost cavalry, only her commander attack damage increase from her active, so using her as the first commander. Dani is second and Layla is third is ideal, identical for the cavalry lineup. There are no major buffers for bowmen armies, which is why they will run similar to cavalry lineups, and also similar to spear lines. Jamie and Sararar are still solid commanders for their crit damage, and using Baelish and Airmidon will also massively boost your damage. Now we will cover some of the free-to-play options available to use. Moving back to pure bowmen from this point where we can use commander skills. Obean is your general free-to-play attack booster, who will be one of your better options. Theon boosts all our bowmen stats by 600% and deals 675 damage to the opponent, which is the best bow commander we have currently. Kevin is a fine commander to use to add some resistance to your lineup. And as always, the healers will no matter what add value for your bowmen lines. And lastly, Egbert, who will reduce the enemy's rage recovery by 60% for 5 seconds. This is indirectly a damage increase for you and your allies by stalling the opponent's skill cycles, hindering both their offensive and defensive skills. Being on the offense or defense able to attack out of range from the enemy, and triggering more attacks with the chance to inflict nearby enemies with heavy damage which may be out of your range. Eagle-eyed bowmen can be the most impactful in combat situations, where players can coordinate their attacks, allowing a few bowmen armies to freely damage the enemies, hanging back with your support wagons, while your main forces will spearhead the attack or defense. Regardless, we get that most players won't be interested in getting these commanders just for these game modes, and as a whole, commanders will benefit their specific synergy way more than if you tried to mix them in with bowmen. Despite this, bowmen are the best defensive and supporting damage troops, though not having their own main synergy as of now, but still have their value for any factions. Next, we will cover supporting commanders to aid in our battles. We will see you there.